All right, the watch list for Tuesday, March 15th. Here we go. Let's look at the SPY real quick. The SPY, look at the volume today, just dead. I mean, a really dead day. We had some great trades in chat considering this really low volume day, and that was all because of the gap play watch list, which both of those, the two big gap plays are be on watch again tomorrow, but I'll show you those in a little bit. So who knows? We're getting, getting tired. It is FOMC week. The meeting starts tomorrow. Announcement on Wednesday. So a lot of times things go on hold up until that Wednesday afternoon, and then the Fed starts babbling, and then things get chaotic. So, be aware that you could have really slow action. I guess I should take that. Hold on. All right, so anyway, under the watch list, let's go SZYM. This one was on watch for today, and then I suppose they had earnings after the close, so it never really gave a trade today. I didn't take a trade in this one today. But it closed red, and the reason it's on the list for tomorrow is because in after hours it's trading up here at 250 right there, and it went as high as 280. So there's a lot of these low price stocks are really starting to make some crazy moves. I'll give you an example too. CPXX. Now this, I don't even know what the heck. I don't even know if this belongs on the watch list, but it's at $1.68 at the close today. As I'm making this video, it's at $7.62. It was actually up over 9 at one point. On, I guess, some positive results from a drug test or something. So, excuse me. So, things are getting a little bit crazy out there. But anyway, back to SZYM. This is going to be an interesting gap play in the morning. I'm showing 73 million in the float, so it's not quite as low a float as I like for my gap plays, but it certainly could go. So we're going to keep our eyes on this as a gap play tomorrow. I need to take a drink here. Hold on. All right. Weight Watchers just goes back on watch again today. No trade in it, and it's really just in a sideways move. But again, it put in its early high at the open, just like it did yesterday. So I'm just kind of look for maybe a trend line break to the upside, and see. This isn't a great chart setup. Again, I wouldn't even have this on watch if it wasn't for these big volume spikes like here and here. And anytime Oprah is mentioned, this thing can get a pop. So we'll see what happens. Not in love with it, though. TOO, nice volume today and up near the top of a range. I like this, maybe a red to green tomorrow for a continuation higher. ZYNE, massive move. I didn't see Jane, one of our members, put this on as an idea in the pre-market. We all work together and build a list of potential gappers in the pre-market. And about 8 minutes before the open, Jane posted this. I didn't see it, but look what happened. I mean, if you just did this on a nice, clean little 2-minute buy setup, right? You have a high, lower high, lower high. First time it breaks to the upside right there. That's your long, and it just went nuts. I mean, that would have been 1241 entry price, and it went, as you can see, all the way up to almost 22 bucks. So that was my miss du jour. We did have at least one member, Jody, saw Jane's post and she got it, but I never did add this to the list. If I would have, I'm sure a lot of us would have done well because it gave a pretty good setup after the open, about 8 minutes in. But anyway, because of the volume, it doesn't have a lot of history. It's a relatively new issue. I want to certainly want to watch this for a red to green or something, but it always feels like chasing when something moves that far from like $6 or $8 and something to 22. But also you want to have something like that on watch. When you see a stock that can move like that, you want to keep that on a chart on one of your monitors if you're a day trader for the next couple weeks going forward. So I'm not going to join a group of chasers tomorrow, but I am going to start watching it already tomorrow. DDD was one of my morning gap plays that we did have on the morning gap play list, and it gave a beautiful setup, which I'll show you in just a second. And then broke above this 14 resistance. Actually, this line is from the pre-market highs this morning. Let me turn that down. That's where we draw a line at the pre-market highs, and let me switch to 2-minute candles here and show you. This gave a really, really nice setup. And this is what I like to see. I like to see sellers coming in at the open, and those sellers fail. So I just called this long if it got back red to green. And when I call red to green, I mean back through the opening price, so 1334. We always give our alerts ahead of time. There's none of this, oh, by the way, like right now, oh, by the way, I just bought DDD. It's not like that, not in our chat room. I was on the mic and said, hey, if this gets back through the open, I like the long idea. So 13.34. Worst case stop on something like that, probably about 30 cents. Didn't matter. Never came back to the entry. And from 13.34 all the way up to almost 15. Because you have this breakout of this 14 area, I can actually move that line up now because 14 was resistance here, 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 and then you got a nice breakout. This certainly could be a multi-day run. So I want to watch DDD again tomorrow for a possible red to green, or because of that volume, really for the next several days going forward. Same kind of setup, similar. In KNDI, one of our moderators in the chat room, Wayne, posted this one today. We had this on the gap play watch list, just like DDD. I still hate that I missed ZYNE for not having that on the list. But anyway, this one gapped up, ran, and came back down. Did not meet any of our entry criteria at this point. But then if it gets back through the open, and this is about 30 minutes in, that does meet our entry criteria. And Wayne pointed it out. At 8:29 would have been the red to green. He pointed it out before it did it again with the red to green idea, which was 8:29. And there's the trigger. And again, that one really didn't look back either. Went all the way up to, I'm not sure how high it went, to 940-ish, something like that. So another really nice one, and it goes back because of the volume spike, because of a decent close. That goes back on watch for tomorrow, possible red to green, something like that. All right. TMST. This is just, if steals get going, TMST just another day. It's in a 4-day range now. So just looking for a push up into maybe the 880s. If something like US Steel, the letter X, or which seems extended here, or NUE, STLD, AKS, if those are running for some, even though they're extended, if they're running tomorrow, I will look for TMST, an entry over this 4-day high. Not in love with that one, but it does move well when it moves. BOX never gave a long trigger today. We had it on bounce watch. Just goes back on bounce watch again. I actually like it over today's high, over 1230. I have 1223 in my notes actually, because when you go to intraday, there was the opening candle high, and then you had kind of a sideways consolidation below that high. So if it just gets above this consolidation tomorrow, really up in the low 1220s, I kind of like this one long. That's BOX. And then lastly, LEU. Nice bottoming tail today. I like this long over today's high, 257. And that's it. Hopefully we'll find some nice gappers. I promise you CPXX is going to be a gapper. It's trading at 765 right now. And SZYM is already on one of my gap play charts for tomorrow because it's trading at 255 right now. So keep your eyes on both of those. Watch the 200-day on SZYM. It could open right around there, which could give it some trouble. So I'll leave it at that. And hopefully, again, we'll add some more gappers in the morning. Remember, FOMC week, which usually is characterized by pretty dead action Tuesday and most of Wednesday until the announcement, and then chaos. So always be aware of your kind of macro environment when trading. And I'll quit talking, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.